I am very excited to be here with you guys tonight. Let me get my notification up and running. Don't swipe on that, y'all, if you guys are in here. Welcome in, you guys. Down below, I just posted my notification item. Just go ahead and bookmark that, you guys, if you want to know when I go live. Hello, everyone. I'm Jen with Four Hearts ABCs. I'm so glad to be here with you guys tonight. I'm just going to be doing a just a little chat with me, seller support kind of thing. This is not a seller show. So if you are here to buy items, I do have things in my bin, but there is nothing that's going to be on the auction, you guys. But one thing I do want to highlight real fast, it's a benefit item, you guys, is I do have in the bin a antique sewing machine that is going to benefit another seller here on Whatnot, you guys. So that's in there if anybody is looking to purchase anything from that. But you guys, I'm excited tonight. We're going to chat about um, pricing your items and how to do that. And I would love it if you guys want to add into the chat with me, that kind of thing. I'll try my very best to keep track of those conversations, you guys. I am on um, a different device, you guys. So do me a favor and give me a thumbs up, say yes, all the things if you guys can hear me in the chat, you guys. Can you hear me? Am I coming through loud and clear? That would be wonderful if you guys could help me know that. So let me send a message to someone just to make sure. Oh, good, good, good. Okay. Thank you so very much for letting me know. Okay, because I am on my iPad. Normally I'm on my iPhone, but I wanted to be able to share some things with you guys that I don't have on both devices. So, okay, you guys. So let's chat about getting your right prices down, my friends. So as we know, when we are sellers on this platform, we are getting our items from all kinds of locations. We're getting them locally from our thrift stores, from the estate sales, from yard sales, from marketplace, even. And you guys, don't overlook places like your consignment shops or even your antique shops. I have found quite a few items in antique shops that are cheaper than we would think they would be. A lot of items, don't get me wrong, a lot of items they do place at the top of the market in their pricing, but sometimes you can find that little nugget in there that is available at a price that we can bring it here to Whatnot for, or things that we can kind of break up and sell them individually. An example of that would be like flashcards, you guys. I bought this whole package of flashcards and I broke it up, and now I can sell them individually in sets of two, things like that. That's a great way to bring items at an affordable price to this platform. Um, Another thing you can do is look at getting items online. There's online auction sites. There's, of course, the other platforms, the Bay, and all those things, you guys, that we can also get our items there as well. So that's a wonderful place to find your items. You guys know where to find items. So let's talk about how to price your items, right? So, one of the things that I think is most important for pricing your items is researching that item. Researching that item, knowing what it is that you actually have. A lot of the times there are actually things out there that are reproductions. We don't want to say something is authentic and then it's a reproduction, and then we lose that customer because we don't know what it is we actually have. A lot of times, those items you can figure that out by maker's marks. Um, doing a lot of just online searching for those little tiny things that we're looking for. Sometimes we can find dates of when something, like there is some makers out there that they actually have made things for hundreds of years. But when exactly is that item that you have in hand been made? And the maker's mark sometimes is a good indication of that. Things like bubbles in the glass can tell you if there's bubbles in the glass, you guys, it is. Let me turn my phone on mute, y'all. If there's bubbles in the glass, you guys, it's most likely an older piece. That is one indication of it. Does it glow under UV light? If you don't have a 365 black light to shine on your items, that's something you might want to invest in. If it does indeed glow, that's a really good indication of the age as well. Um, Things like, is it crazed? Does it make a certain sound if it's crystal or ironstone? These are all things that you can research how to tell about those items. Another thing is like when you're looking at dishes, there is a dish set called Falsegraph, and they actually made their items originally in the US, and then when people were shipping their production overseas, they were one of those companies. And so if you have a Falsegraph piece that actually says USA on it, it's most likely a older piece because it was made in the US. Okay. So do your research, you guys, figure things out. There's a lot of people out there that have been talking about, looking on Googler, whatever they want to call it. There is an app or a feature on Google that is Google Lens, you guys. So when you go into your Google app, if you see the little camera up there, you can take a picture of something, and Google is going to give you information about that item that you took a picture of. Um, and then I wanted to share um, another app that you actually have to pay for, you guys. If you are in this for a business, I'm not a tax expert, but I can tell you that if you are purchasing something like an app for your business, it you can write it off on your taxes. Okay, so there is an app that this is what it looks like. Okay, so here it is, you guys. It's Curio. Okay, so there is, and there's some of the items that I have actually been doing. Hello, Petals Pickets. Welcome in. Um, so you guys, if you guys are looking at this app, um, don't look at all the other apps I got going on, but there it is. It's got like a key on it. So it's Curio is what it's called. I am doing great, my friend. Um, and so it's like Google Lens, but it actually gives you a little more information about the items. Um, Now, if you're going through Google, Google's going to search every platform there is available to Google. So you're going to get the Bay, you're going to get Etsy, you're going to get, let's see, Poshmark. And a lot of those kinds of places are going to pop up in the Google Lens when you are searching for your item. I don't know about Curio and exactly where they're getting um, their information from, but they also do have some of their items. Let me click on this one here. Okay, so like this one here, you guys, I did this earlier today, uploading some of my items. Um, honey, I don't remember, but it wasn't very much when you broke it down over the year. So, and I think it was like you buy it one time during the year and then it lasts a year. And then I think that's what it is. It might have a monthly, but I signed up for it a couple months ago and my memory is not all that great. So I don't really remember, but I do know that there is a subscription for this one. But like here it is, okay, you guys. So like I put in this item and it gave me not only it gave me the history of the company and what it is, but then it also gives information about this specific item. It'll give you like the origin of where it's from. It'll give you a timeline, and then it'll give you a price you guys. It'll give you a estimated price of what it's valued at. Now, when it gives you that value price, it's giving it to you um between like not so great and super pristine. Okay. So you kind of have to know like what is your item really got to it. Okay. So, but then it also gives you visual matches on there. Okay. So that a lot like Google, it's pulling from other sources and letting you know what they're going for on other platforms. Now, these are what they are normally listed for. It doesn't mean that that is what they've sold for. So keep that in mind. Um, but on both of those research platforms, okay, so here it has, okay, if I open it up, it has identify here. Okay, if I click on the camera, hello, we're looking all around, right? It's going to be able to take a picture of the item right then and there. Okay. But you also can go down to the images and I can click on what's in my camera screen. And the nice thing about that is you can click on something you've already taken a picture of. Okay. So now I just did this one, you guys. This is a button that I just took a picture of and uploaded for my upcoming patriotic show. Okay. And now it's going to give me the information about that button. This is great, you guys. And if it's something really cool and there's a lot of information about it, you can screenshot this, put it in your listing under a picture. Okay. That might help, especially if it's a really rare item, a really cool item that might help buyers understand why you're asking the price that you're asking for it. Okay. Um, so just think about that. Google does the same thing though. If you go into Google Lens, you can take a picture right then and there of your item, and it's going to give you the information it can pull off of its own sites through looking through everybody else's platforms and stuff. It's going to give you like it's listed on this site or that site for this much. Okay, so um, you're going to be able to do the same thing, and you can also pull from Google Lens. You can also pull out of your phone already. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's a great tip. I did know a person that was a friend of mine who, she's the one that actually told me about Google Lens years ago. And I was just chatting with her the other day, and we were talking about how convenient it is to be able to pull it out of your phone. She didn't even know that was a feature. So a lot of people don't know that. So I wanted to share that today when we were going through the things. So research your item, know what it is that you're actually giving and bringing to the platform. That's going to make your buyers happy. If you know and you're not giving them something that you think it is and you're guessing, you're going to probably sell it a lot better. Um, so then there's the idea of, okay, now what do I sell it for? Okay, I've got the information. Now what do I sell it for? Okay. So I'm looking, and let's say this tin that I have for tomorrow's my train tomorrow, okay? This tin, you guys, I looked it up. It's from the 70s. It's definitely vintage, right? It's cool. It's got some character to it, right? As I look up the price on here, it's giving me that range. It's telling me it's between this price as like rusty, crusty garbage, or this price that is pristine, like someone kept it so very nice over the last, 50 years. Okay, so where do I price it at, right? So then I take into account, like in my mind, I take into account, okay, it's somebody put tape on that and it stripped off some of the paint. It's faded. It's been sitting in the sunlight. Okay. It's not in pristine condition by any means. It's got maybe a little bit of rusty crusty going on. I personally don't mind that look. I think it's cool. I think it adds to the character of it. But I probably would mark this as middle of the road. Okay, middle of the road in price, or maybe even a little bit less than middle of the road. So I take an item, I kind of judge. Hello, my friend. I kind of judge like where is it in that price window of how it looks and the condition that it's in. Okay. How rare is it? That also can be an indicator of where you want to place it, because yes, it may very well be that it's not in the most pristine condition, but like nobody else has it really. Well, then you're going to value it better because nobody else has it. Okay. So keep those ideas in mind as you're looking at that. But online research is not the only research you can do for your pricing, you guys. Going into those other places that is local to you is a good indication of what things are going for. Going around and browsing in the antique shop and looking for items that you actually have in your inventory and looking to see, okay, how much are they asking for it? Looking at yard sales, who's getting rid of these items? Why are they getting rid of the items? Okay, so a lot of the times, like the hen on the nest, you guys, huge right now, huge, oh so popular, and oh so expensive. Okay, they are going for high prices. It doesn't mean that they aren't good because people are picking them up left and right. It means they're on the market now again in abundance because the people who had them originally, they're now having estate sales. Okay. And maybe their family isn't really wanting, isn't that's not their style. So they're actually putting them out in the estate sales. Um, but that just means that the people who love that style, we're picking them up and we're loving them. And now they've gone up in value because of that. Okay. So look at different platforms outside of just online, but I do think that online is a great way to help you price your items. Um, Another indicator of price that you need to think about is, where are you at in your selling journey? Okay. You all will understand this. If you are brand new to the platform, if you're brand new to selling, and you don't have that huge following, you're probably not going to be getting very top dollar for your items. That just takes time to gather those sellers or those buyers to come into your shows and be willing to bid against each other and do all of that. Um, so you need to kind of look at, where are you in your selling journey. There are some sellers on here that they're bringing in 400 people in a show, which is absolutely amazing. Oh, well, hello there from Santan Valley. um so the people who are bringing in those 400 people, they can start their item at $1 and they're going to sell it for at value or higher. Okay, at value or higher, because they have that many people in there. There's a lot of bidding war going on. But if you have, doesn't if you have a following that is smaller, where you're bringing in anywhere from 10 to 20 people into every one of your shows, you probably do not want to start your items way low. That's not going to pay off for you. Okay, so consider that when you are pricing your items. um Something I like to do is to take my item and say, okay, I paid X amount for it and I want to get this much over the top of that. Or I will say, I think it's going to go for somewhere in here in market value. So everybody else is charging here. I'm going to go and charge right under here so that I can actually give people a good deal, make people feel good about what they're buying. I don't want to, though, devalue the item, because we as sellers, we set the value of what the item is. Okay, if everybody wasn't loving those hens on a nest, they may not be valued at what they're at, but because everyone is loving them, that market sets the price of what the value is of that item. But if somebody on, let's say you're googling it and you're seeing $40, $45, $105, $10. Okay, the 105 is an outlier. the 100 or the $5 one, $10 one is an outlier. You know that those that are, right in the middle there, that's probably close to what they're valued at. So I would grab those numbers and then maybe if you can, just go right underneath it. Right underneath it, be competitive with your pricing. Make it where they want to come to you because they know you're giving them a good deal, but don't undercut yourself. Okay. Don't put an item out there for something less than you would be happy selling it for. If you have a $10 item and you put it up for $3 and you're going to not even break even at $3, you may sell it for only $3, people. I mean, we have to think about that. We may have only one person that bids. There may not be enough to do a bidding war. So sell it for what you feel comfortable. And at the end of the day, if only one person swipes and that person gets it at the price that you start that bid at, you're happy with it. Okay. You're happy with what you get from that sell. Um, so that's how I would definitely make sure that I am pricing the item is by making sure you're happy with it, you're not devaluing it, and you've done your research to see what that item is actually probably worth. Okay. Um, so you also need to keep in mind that there are fees to whatnot. Okay. We as sellers get charged a fee for every transaction that takes place. So when you're pricing your item, you do not want to price it right at what you paid because you're not going to get your money back. Okay. Um, you're not going to get your money back because Whatnot's going to take their fees out. You're going to be paying for shipping materials, the box, the bubble wrap, all the things, right? So those are also things you need to keep in mind. When you're going to source your item, if you're sourcing and you see an item that you think, oh, this is awesome, but you know in your mind that's all that the customer base is going to pay. That's at top market value. Don't buy that item. It may be the coolest item you ever saw. It may be a hint on a nest. It may be a fairy lamp. It may be, you know, Pokemon something or other. But if you're finding it at top value, top resale, do not buy it. Don't do it. I mean, buy it if it's for yourself. I mean, of course. I mean, if we're buying it for ourselves, we'll pay a different price than if we're buying it to resell. If you're buying it to resell and it's at top value, don't buy it. It's not going to do you any good. And it's not very likely that you're going to know where the market's going for that particular item. Had anybody known over a year and a half ago that fairy lamps were going to just take off like gangbusters, of course everybody would have bought those fairy lamps at that time market value. Um, but nobody can predict that. Okay, so you don't want to buy things at top value because you're not going to be able to resell it and make any money off of it. Um, Now, you also, when you're pricing an item, you need to think about the weight of the item, the size of the item. Can you make it fit within Whatnot shipping parameters? Okay. You can go outside of their normal shipping parameters. Okay. You can make a custom shipping for any item, but the cost of that is going to be much higher than any normal item that we sell. Perfect example, you guys. I have that antique sewing machine in my bin. Okay. Now, that antique sewing machine, I've had it for many, many years and I don't need it. I was actually going to donate it to a local charity. I have a friend here on Whatnot, and we're doing benefits to help her out. And I thought, let's see if I can bring it to the platform and offer it to someone to basically donate it to her and her benefit. Okay. It is a anywhere from 150 to $500 sewing machine. Okay. I have looked it up on all the things. That's how much it is valued at. Okay. That's amazing. I have it listed for $50. Okay. I have it listed for $50 because I'm not planning on making any money off of that. And I also want to bring it to the platform for a price that people can afford. The shipping on that is about $100. You heard me right. The shipping on that is about $100. I had to do a custom shipping um, profile for that because it's bigger than the parameters that we normally ship out of, and it weighs more than our normal weights that we offer on Whatnot. So I had to go ahead and make a custom. But when I looked online and I was, looking and doing my research so that I knew what I was offering, um, another platform has that exact sewing machine, 2 years newer than the one I'm offering. Okay. And their shipping is $175. $175. So even at the custom shipping, Whatnot is still beating other platforms and what they're offering. So I felt pretty good about being able to offer it here. It may not go, and that's okay. I'm not out anything by offering it, you guys. And that's the thing to think about. When you're putting items out there, you have to think about, am I willing to sit on it for a while? Am I willing to keep it there in case, wait for that right buyer to find it? Because you guys, if you didn't know, anyone can go up into Whatnot. They can go to the search bar at the top of Whatnot and they can put in different things that they're looking for. And it doesn't matter if they're in your shop or not. If they type in antique sewing machine, my listing is going to show. Okay. My listing is going to show. It will show if it's in the bin. It will show if it's in an upcoming show. It will show if I have it available. Okay. And so somebody can bookmark it, they can buy it now. But if you search any parameters, you're going to be able to find those items that you're looking for. And so maybe eventually someone's going to come in and they're going to see that I have an antique sewing machine and it's exactly what they've been looking for. And so they're going to purchase it. Another example of that is like I have a World War II era set of binoculars I just listed, and they're at a higher price point. I don't want to put them in every single show that I have between now and whenever, but I don't want to devalue them because I know what they're worth. So I'm going to leave them in my bin at their value. If anyone comes into Whatnot and is looking for World War II items, that listing is going to pull up. Eventually, someone's going to see that item and they're going to want it. Okay. I will leave you with this for the day. When you are pricing your item, you have to keep a lot of things in mind: who you are, where you are on your journey, what item you're bringing, how much do you need to make from it, and where would you be happy with it. Look at what other people are listing their items for. Then look and see what they're actually getting for them. Bookmark an item so you can watch and see how many people bid on it. What did it actually sell for, right? But here's the thing. This is where I'm always at the end of the day. You need 4 things to line up for you to sell an item. Okay. 4 things. Always. No matter if you have 400 people in your room or if you have 2 people in your room, you need those 4 things to line up. And that would be that you have the right item. Okay. You have the right item. You have it at the right price. You have it at the right time, or and you have the right buyer in the room. Okay. So here is my example of that. I sometimes do mini shows. Okay. I sell minis. And I did a mini show on a Monday. Mini Monday, the whole deal. Had my minis on there, and mini Monday, I think I was in the late morning. I think it was late morning, early afternoon. I had about 5 to 10 people coming in and out of the show, and I think I sold about 6 items in an hour. Okay. We had great conversation, and it was a lot of fun showing off the items, but I just wasn't getting any real traction. Okay. So we ended the show. I came back on later that evening and did another mini Monday. Okay. Same exact items, same exact pricing, just a different time. And I had 20 plus people in my show, and I sold about, I think, 50, 60, something like that items that night. Okay. Nothing changed. Nothing changed except for the time that I came on. So you need to understand it's not you. Okay. It's not you. You just have to get the right things in place. And, but pricing is a big part of that. There is sometimes that, you may have a price set perfect. I mean, someone's like, oh, I know that's a good deal on that. But then when they look down at the shipping, they're like, but that's going to be too much shipping for me. So they may not buy it. Okay. It may not be your and it's okay to tell people on there on your shows, you guys. It's okay to say, I know shipping's a lot, you guys. This is kind of a heavier item, so I went ahead and dropped the price of this item to compensate for that. Because we have no control over shipping. Zero control over shipping unless we're willing to eat the shipping costs, which some sellers can do. Some of us smaller sellers, we cannot. Um, we have no control over shipping, you guys. So consider that when you're pricing your items. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And I hope this was somewhat helpful, you guys. Um, and I hope you guys know that I've been doing support cell shows now for a little while. Thank you, my friend. And if you miss any of them, I am on YouTube. It's the same name I have here. It is Four Hearts ABCs. You can catch my replays of my seller supports there on my YouTube channel. I'm glad to hear this was very helpful because, even with oh, you know what? Okay, so yes, vignette bundles. Here we go. That's a totally different ball game. Okay. So I have done some vignette shows. I've been on a couple of vignette trains. Loads of fun, y'all. Here's what I did. I took my items and I looked at, okay, so let's say you're having it on like your base is going to be a book. You're going to add a cloth to it, a fabric to it. You're going to add a glass to it. You're going to add a metal to it. Okay. You take all your different items that you're going to be doing for your vignettes, right? Um, Look at them and say, okay, what is my most expensive valued item? Okay. And then kind of price point it like, okay, for cloth, my most expensive valued item is probably a $3 hanky, right? Okay, $3. My book's probably a $5 book. Okay, there's $8. Okay, start adding those things up. Take your most expensive. If somebody was to come in and build their vignette and get your most expensive item out of every single piece and put it all together in one, what is that value going to be? I would probably stick somewhere close there. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to come in and do that. Also, for weight on that, I would take your heaviest items in every weight and then weigh them all together. It doesn't mean that somebody's going to come in and get the heaviest items in one vignette, but that way you're covered and you know where where the most heavy is going to land or the most expensive items are going to land you, and then kind of play with that. I had a vignette show. I had five cameras, five vintage cameras in that show, and I knew that all of those cameras were going to go, and they did. But I also valued put other items in that were valued less in some of the other categories, knowing that I was not going to make the value back off of those cameras, but I could make extra value off of some of those other items because I could bring them in cheaper than what I would have been able to otherwise in other shows. I hope that makes sense for the okay. Good. I'm glad that makes sense because, like, you want to give them a good deal, and you have no idea on the build your own vignette shows. You have no idea what somebody's going to pick, what someone's looking for, what in their mind looks good. And a lot of those vignette shows, people are not getting them to keep them in the vignette they're actually making. They're getting those pieces because they want X, Y, and Z out of that, and then the other pieces they're going to put somewhere else, or they're going to resell those, or they're going to whatever. They don't always want to have those. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I will try my very best to bookmark your show, my friend. I am traveling that day, but message me with an invite and I will bookmark it for sure. I'm traveling that day. My daughter has state up north that night before, and so we'll be traveling back down that day. But Saturday, you guys head on over, go see Old Made New Creations, you guys, and bookmark her show on Saturday. That's awesome. I'm so glad this was helpful. I've been doing Whatnot for as a seller for about a little over a year now, but I've been in business in the craft industry, in the resale industry, somewhere around 17-ish years. And so it is a very fun and evolving industry, but you do need to have your pricing right. And feel free to reach out to your friends and say, hey, what would you pay for this? I happen to be a very cheap person. Like, it's very rare that I'm going to pay a lot of money for an item if I know I can get it somewhere else cheaper, or if I know it's not a rare item. If I think it's very rare, if I think that it's a one of a kind and I'm never going to see it again, I will pay up for it. But I am one that I love a good bargain, and don't even stop me for free, y'all. Like, if there's something for free on the side of the road, this girl is stopping. So, so you definitely, reach out to your friends and just say, hey, what would you pay for this? Would you buy this? What do you think of this? Get input, because there's nothing wrong with getting input. And if you put it up for a high price and no one buys it, okay, you can always bring your prices down. Okay. We have some sellers on here that say they have an item in 3 shows and then they put it in their bin. Okay. There's just different ways you can do that. Like I have right now in my sales that I'm doing on the 4th of every month, which is a patriotic celebration show. Every month on the 4th, I just put in a one of those old mechanical coin banks. This thing is awesome. I mean, it is so cool, and there's not that many out there. Not to say it's super rare, but there's not that many out there, and it's still in working condition. I am doing another, I think, 3 or 4 of those different trains. So I put it at market value. I put it up there where I feel good about what I would get for it. And I can always bring the price down. Okay. So think about that when you're doing it. You can always bring the price down, but don't undervalue your item, and don't sell it for anything less than you would feel happy selling it for. And please, oh, please do not. This is terrible that I have to even say this, but do not make the buyer feel bad if you didn't get what you wanted for it. Y'all, I have heard horror stories of um, sellers on different platforms belittling their customer because their customer, paid what they were offering it for and nobody else bid. That's on the seller, not on the buyer. And the buyer's not going to come back if they feel like you're not valuing the fact that they bought your item. So put it up for what you feel good about. And just know that you guys, you can do this. It's really not that hard. Maybe you don't make a lot of money on one item, but the next item you're going to do, you're going to make awesome amounts on it. You gotta kind of find that middle ground where things equal out and make you feel good about the sell at the end of the day, y'all. At the sell at the end of the day. So you guys, bookmark my upcoming shows. I would greatly appreciate it. I've got a lot going on, like always. I'm coming on every other Tuesday with somebody. Normally, I'm trying to get co-hosts to come in and chat about different aspects of the whatnot business. And so bookmark those. And the times will always be different, you guys, because I work from home. Whatnot's the only business I'm doing right now, so my time is pretty much open. So normally when I have a co-host, the co-host determines what time we go on. But yeah, bookmark them. You don't want to miss them. We've got some really awesome co-hosts coming up on some of those. My take on giveaways. Okay, so I have been in some other seller support groups. One of the sellers here, Sammy at Unicorn Dust Design, sometimes she will do a seller support, and one of them she did, which was very awesome because she does have a big following. She had not only sellers come in, but her customers. She asked customers to join as well, and so then she asked the customers, "Do you care about um, the giveaways?" Okay. And most of the customers in there said no. They don't care if they get a giveaway or not. But what they also said was they don't want a giveaway that is garbage. Okay. They don't want to be receiving things that they're not interested in. And so if you do giveaways, you want to think about, like, what are you giving away? Okay. Giveaways are distracting, someone said. um I actually think giveaways are fun. Okay, I'm actually a gift giver. That is in my nature. That's what I do. But here's the thing: if I do a giveaway, I am going to be getting followers, right? So, but followers don't always equal sales, you guys. Followers are awesome, but they don't equal sales. Okay. I could follow any Joe Schmo out there, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go in and follow and go into their shows. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean sales, but it does get interaction, right? If you're doing a giveaway, you do get interaction. And I had said earlier, I love a free item. Like, pull over the side of the road. I'm going to pick that table up if I think it's got good bones to it, right? So I will actually personally I will. Yes, it helps the algorithm as well. I agree. I personally, if I'm in a show and I'm not seeing anything I'm really wanting, but they're going to throw up a giveaway, I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay to see if I win that giveaway, which is really silly because most likely I'm not going to, but there is that off chance I might win something for free and it might be something really awesome. That's my nature. That's how I do things. That doesn't mean that everybody is that way. So I think if you're going to do giveaways, it's great. If you're not going to do giveaways, that's okay too. It does help the algorithm, it does get interaction, it may keep someone in the room. There's a lot of good and bad going with it. Things that I will do. Okay, stickers. Stickers is a huge, thing that people give away. I personally don't like stickers. I don't use them. But my kiddos love stickers. So sometimes I'll give them the stickers that I receive. But I do love paper ephemera. Okay. So I love me a good postcard. Um, I tend to give out paper ephemera, and it doesn't necessarily have to be vintage, because in my mind, somebody can get that pretty paper ephemera and they could write a note. They could, I mean, like, right, it's usable. It's usable. Um, Whereas like a sticker, I'm just kind of like, I mean, I don't know. What am I going to do with this sticker? So I hope that's helpful. Frame it right, frame it, put a transfer on it. I don't know. But I just kind of feel like you just got to kind of look at your audience and like what would they actually appreciate getting versus what are they just going to like just toss in the trash, because there's no reason to give a giveaway away. Pay the shipping on that giveaway first of all, because if you're doing the sticker category, you're paying 70, I think it's 78 cents plus your packing material, which would normally be an envelope, right, plus the item. So let's say best case scenario, you're in it for $1. Why send them something they're just going to throw away? You just threw away $1. We don't want to be throwing away money. You know what I mean? But if you're going to give them something that they're like, oh, this is really cute. I'm really glad I won that giveaway. They may come back and see you again. So I don't know. It's up to you on the giveaway. I think it's awesome as far as like just the interaction and keeping people, engaged. So I normally will offer a giveaway. Buyer's giveaway is is really a nice way to um, thank them for supporting you, but it's also a way to keep them in the room until the end of the show. Just saying, depending on what you give away. I mean, you know. So there's my little intake on the giveaway situation. But like I said, when we did that other one, the the buyers really felt like it was like, whatever, you know what I mean? And I am personally that way as well. I would not buy from somebody if they didn't have a giveaway. That's not what I'm there for, but that is something I will stay for because I'm weird like that. So um anyways, you guys, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And I hope you guys will come back and see me again, bookmark my upcoming shows and all of that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys next time. I've got 2 trains tomorrow, y'all, that I've got to go get ready for tonight. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great night, you guys. Let's see who we can raid into. Who is on tonight that we can bless and see who is doing what today, you guys. Um, let's see. I'm looking. Okay, so I don't know what this one is, but they look fun. Junkie Bunny. I don't know what Junkie Bunny is, but let's see. Let's go see what they've got. Thank you guys. See you guys later. Bye bye.